Hi, hello, hello, coming to you live, week 2. I'm a couple minutes late. As soon as I sat down, I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I ran in to do just that. So if you may or may not have heard, I'm just going to correct my camera. It's kind of sitting a little bit lopsided. So if you may or may not have heard, hey Evelyn, nice to hang out. So this is week 2 from the Evolutionary Leadership series that I'm hosting in the Facebook group. I haven't been in here for a while. So this is week 2, and this is Woman, You Are the Medicine. This is a kind of a passion piece for me because I truly believe that we are here to be prosperous as the natural extension of who we were born to be, just in the naturalness of who we were born to be. So I talk a lot about the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are the planet's deepest healing tool. I have traversed many life areas with the Akashic Records, supporting hundreds of women over the last decade. I've touched in on the family matrix, on beauty paradigms, on aging, on unlocking our power, on embodiment, on money and frequency. So I've just traveled so many different places with the Akashic Records, and I love the Akashic Records. And by the way, if you've been seeing, the Advanced Akashic Women's Guide certification is open right now. We officially have 3 spots left. The opening ceremony is September 21st, and then we journey together for 6 whole months, traveling through all these different areas that touch a woman's life as she steps through her own initiation into more of her evolution. Now, the reason that I'm saying this is because the Akashic Records are brilliant and I love them, and they're a tool. And I have a long time ago realized that as an extension of my prosperity, yes, I could sell the Akashic Records and all the amazing benefits of the Akashic Records, because there are many. And I think that for as much as I've worked with the records and for everywhere I've taken the records, and I do believe that there's a lot of areas that I'm pioneering with the Akashic Records, we still don't really fully understand the mystery that is the Akashic Records. Now, I truly believe, though, the Akashic Records are a tool, right? But our essence, the medicine of who we are, right? Just the divine expression, the gifts that we innately carry, that is the source of our prosperity. That is truly the source of our prosperity. So it's not what we're doing, right? It's who we are that becomes the natural extension of our prosperity. We all have unique medicine. And yes, I'm going to open up to the Akashic field. I'll bring through a short channel transmission and activation for sure. Absolutely. We all have unique medicine. And so as someone who has spent a lot of time in the realm of divine purpose and feminine embodiment, I really feel like, our essence, our sacred feminine essence is like the unique fragrance of who we are, right? It's when we touch in and when we connect to our sacred feminine essence, the uniqueness of who we are, and we start to nurture that connection, and we start to touch in on it and cultivate that connection, and we start to create space in our lives for that expression, right? And we start to really value that expression just by being who we are, right? Where there's nowhere to be and nothing to do, we can just lean into the beauty of our essence and our expression and our medicine, right? And our presence becomes this beautiful healing transmission because we're so full and nurtured and expressed from the inside out, right? That is our unique medicine. And it's the kind of medicine where if you were to come and journey with me, yeah, I've got the Akashic Records. I've got lots of tools. I have a huge toolbox from working with women through embodied soul level transformation for over a decade, but my medicine gets into my containers. My medicine touches the people that I journey with. The medicine touches those that I'm in sacred space with. And it brings a certain flavor and a certain quality, right, that impacts those that I'm here to serve. And for me on my journey, I really had to learn to understand what that was, right? And this is, every week we're meeting. And by the way, this week we meet Wednesday and we meet again Friday. And then we meet again next Wednesday. And it's all building up to this becoming the channel, right? Becoming the channel, where our essence is so fully dropped in and expressed, right? We're so anchored in our bodies. We're so free in our expression, right? We are literally anchoring the codes of heaven on earth. We are the channel, right? And so I'm giving you these pieces and these steps to really understand what it looks like, what it looks and feels like to access that to different degrees. And so today is, woman, you are the medicine. You are the medicine. Like, your presence is the medicine. This also becomes important because we live in this society. You hear me talk about this a lot if you've been around for a little bit. Oh, I've got some cocoa here. I'm gonna have some. Because we come from this society where we push, go, do, and we've learned to base our value on external approval and on doing and on certificates and on degrees and on the amount of information that we've accumulated, right? All of it. And so we have disconnected from the inner sense of connection and that cultivation to the uniqueness of who we are and the value of that. And so again, this invitation to remember in that space of presence, right? Just in the space of presence, that our essence, just the beauty of who we are, is a gift, that it holds immense value. When we can stop and when we can remember that, when we can start to remember that and come home to ourselves from that space over and over and over again, instead of seeking validation externally, which actually ends up draining and depleting us and having us working out of obligation, right? If we can come home to ourselves and presence ourselves in that space of value, then what we're doing is we're starting to actually nourish and build our frequency in a really, really powerful way. That's the first step, because we realize it's safe to, and there's a permission to start to really value presence, not always productivity, to value presence, to value our essence, right? To start to connect into deeper aspects of the truth of who we are and who we're being called to be as sacred women in this world. And we can start to build our energy from the inside out, right? And so instead of feeling depleted, disconnected, and existing from a collapsed energetic state, which so much of the world still does, right? We can start to focus our energy inward, right? From a space of connection, from a space of nourishment, from a space of self-honor, from a space of self-connection. We can feed ourselves, nourish ourselves, we can hear ourselves, right? And as we do that, our presence becomes a nourishing transmission. And I've seen this happen with women that I've journeyed with over and over and over again. Right? Sometimes we're so afraid to let go, to create the space that we need, because we're so caught up or tied into validation. But when we can actually shift it and create the space to come home to ourselves in this way, then we actually start to fill ourselves up from the inside out, right? We start to value our essence and our presence, and you can walk into a room and your presence uplifts. Right? We know, and we don't even necessarily need to be doing and giving, which is like such a deeply ingrained conditioning pattern for so many still. Right? It's just our essence, our medicine, our presence becomes healing because we're so full, right? From the inside out. So, woman, you are the medicine. So I want you to start thinking about You know, when I think of woman, you are the medicine, I think of flowers. And actually, I went and brought some of my flower essences, which, by the way, if you're interested, I've got a Akasha flower essence workshop happening at the end of the month. Message me if this speaks to you. So if you think about your unique medicine, and I've got all my flower essences here, thinking about each one of you, right? You're your own really beautiful, unique expression, just like a beautiful flower with your own healing vibration, with your own fragrance, with your own colors, with your own unique expression. And that is a gift, right? That is something that's so unique and so special and touches the world around you. And that kind of medicine infuses the exchange that happens in your sacred work, right? As you step out in bigger and bigger and bigger ways. So let me go ahead. I'm going to actually put some of these in. I wanted to do that before I started. And then we're going to shift gears and we're going to sink into the Akashic field. And so the reason that I really wanted to bring this forward as well is because this is one of the key components of the Akashic Women's Guide certification. We don't necessarily put the tool, right? I talked about the Akashic Records, the profound healing of the Akashic Records. It's a very, very powerful spiritual healing tool, the deepest in the planet. It is of high, high value. And still, in the Akashic Women's Guide certification, we don't place the focus so much on the value. We do so much on the value of the Akashic Records, but more so on the intrinsic value of your unique medicine, what it means to cultivate that, and what it means to anchor the frequency of that through your channel as a new paradigm leader. The Akashic Records become an ally through your own transformation, through your own soul level embodied transformation that you then take out and use to facilitate with your clients. All right, so let's dive in. So if you wish, I recommend having maybe a little glass of water. If you don't, that's okay. If you're just jumping on, that's fine. We'll go ahead and we'll sink in and we'll see what wants to come through. But just starting to think about your medicine, your unique medicine, and the way it impacts a room and the way that it touches other people when you're not doing anything, just the way that it touches people. So we're going to go ahead and close our eyes and drop our chin. And as you do that, you can go ahead and start presencing yourself in the environment around you. And then we're going to go ahead and bring our focus to our bodies, just noticing what you notice about your body. And then your breath. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a breath in through the nose, down into the energetic womb space, and then up and out through the mouth. And then we'll do that breath 2 more times, bringing it to the count of 3. And as we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and call down the temples of divine love, light, truth, abundance, wisdom, and power to descend, grow, and expand around us, calling in our guides, masters, angels, teachers, goddesses, guardians, benevolent ancestors to be present, and for truth and accuracy to be obtained for the highest good of each of you here today, and anyone here and anyone listening to this in the future. Asking this to be a divinely protected space where only the highest frequencies of love and light shall exist. Bringing your focus to the energetic womb space, we're going to go ahead and see it fill up with a beautiful golden light. We're going to see that golden light swish, swirl, cleanse, clear through the pelvic bowl, bringing it down, down, down through the core of the body, down through all the layers of earth and crust and soil and root and rock, right down to the core of Mother Earth, letting that grow roots deep into the core of Mother Earth, releasing anything and everything that you're complete with, and then simultaneously letting your body weight drop and drop until you feel fully held by the beauty of Mother Earth. I was a little chilly and now I'm a little hot. All right, we're going to bring our focus up to the heart space, seeing the magenta rose bloom open. And from there, we're going to allow the golden grid of the flower of life begin to expand out from the heart space located at the center of the chest. We're going to let that light, the radiant divine substance of all of life, begin to permeate itself within us, all around us. We're going to let the Akashic field that is the light continue to grow, expand, and interpermeate with the physical and non-physical reality that exists before us, all around us, and within us. We're going to let that radiant divine substance of all of life that flows through all things continue to flow, flower, and expand. Then seeing, sensing, feeling now as the doors to the Akasha and all the wisdom and love of the Akasha open to us now. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and tune in. So the first thing that I'm seeing is a woman in a waterfall, and I feel like there's something about similar to the one that we did last time. And sometimes this happens when you do consecutive kind of journeys, or the way that I work anyways. So there's a woman in a waterfall, and it's like she's like washing everything away, and she's naked. Like she's naked, she's in the waterfall, and there's just this like at a core essence, it's just like she's in her naturalness, right? Like she's enjoying the waterfall. She's like in her naturalness. She feels comfortable in her skin. Even if you don't, imagine what it would feel like to feel comfortable in your skin. And so, yeah, so there's this naturalness. It's like almost like, it's like the way the Akasha is speaking is to take away all the distraction. To take away all the distraction and just like coming home to your essence, the purity of your essence. If you were to take away all the distraction, right? If you were to just like to be in nature, to just be wild and free, to just be in the waterfall. And the waterfall is really beautiful. It's just this crystalline frequency, and just allowing yourself to bathe in the waterfall. The thing with the crystalline frequency when it comes through to you, I always find it's like the elimination of, like, there's some kind of clearing that wants to happen. So what I'm getting is that this waterfall is clearing projections, illusions, parts of your personality that maybe you develop because of your childhood. It's not the like true expression of who you are. It's not the true expression of who you are, but the word that's really coming out is projections. The way that other people see us. And I find this a lot with family, right? Because they've known us since childhood. They kind of have this, like, they think they know who we are. And so in a way, there's like this sense of like kind of like gridlocking us into a perception, a projection of theirs. And then it's up to us to untangle that and to decide whether that projection is actually true. And chances are it's not, because our divinity is so much bigger than the family matrix, right, that we grew up in, and the development of the personality self, right? It's so much bigger. So starting to think about just the purity of your essence. So give me 1 second. I'm just going back to the woman who's in the waterfall. So we're in the Akashic field, the woman in the waterfall, she's naked, she's feeling comfortable in her body. Like I was saying, if that isn't you, imagine what it would feel like to be comfortable in your body. And we're just coming into this, the purity, the innocence of your essence, the naturalness of who you are. Like when there's no one around and you just get to be you in the most divine way, right? Like that is your medicine. It's relaxed, it's present, right? It's in a space of joy. So as I'm watching this woman, though, now she's leaving the waterfall, and you know, there's been this like washing away of these projections, these illusions. And she's walking over to a spot on the grass, and I'm actually seeing her journaling. So whenever I see a journal in the Akashic field, or when I guide these journeys, it always is an indication to me that there's a couple journaling prompts. So if you don't have a journal, that's okay. You can just reflect on the questions and just listen to the nuggets maybe that come up. If you do have a sheet of paper and a journal, then that's wonderful too. And that's one of the beautiful things about being in sacred space and about being in the Akashic field. It allows us to connect in past the layers of the mind and into the subtleties of our wisdom. Higher self wisdom, heart wisdom, body wisdom. Okay, so I'm going to tune into what these questions are. Okay, here's the first question. We'll just go with it. The first question is, who do you truly believe yourself to be? And just kind of like hand over heart and listen and then write it out. Who do you truly believe yourself to be? Okay. So if we have like an idea and we start to tap into, even like a nugget of clarity over a deeper truth around our medicine and our essence, that's perfect. So the next question is, where do you feel limited in that expression, or where do you feel limited in sharing that with the world? And I feel there's one more question, and I'm going to deepen into that one in a moment. So as I deepen into that journaling prompt, there's two things that come through. One is sadness. And the sadness, I think, it's from that place of, and this happens a lot, but the sadness, I think, is from where we don't always feel seen in the true expression of who we are. And then there's a sense of waiting for permission. And I'm just tapping in, and I just want to kind of highlight the layers that it feels like are really present around this. And then there's the question is like, who am I to be this version of myself? Like, who am I to be this woman? So I realize, we're traversing some pretty deep layers in a very short amount of time. But what often happens when we start to unearth deeper aspects of our essence, of our expression, of our medicine, of our truth, we want to clear and untangle, right? So we're talking about some layers of sadness, that kind of thing. We want to connect to a deeper truth, a deeper discovery, right? And then we want to bring it out into the world, right? How do we share that? And we share that by identifying it, right? By valuing it, by giving ourselves permission to share it with the world. But what also needs to happen, and this sometimes usually when I'm journeying, through even a group program, it takes a little bit longer, but there's a new identity that needs to upgrade. There's a new identity that needs to upgrade. So if there's something coming through around this sense of identifying, I asked that very first question, right? That very first question, I'm trying to remember what the very first question was. Yeah, who do I know myself to truly be, right? We dissolve some of the projections and the illusions, coming into that clear space. Whatever that answer was is true, right? Because you're tapping into a deeper truth. So how do we make space for it, give you permission for it? And then how do we fully allow ourselves to integrate that and carry that upgraded version of ourselves out into the world, right? Allowing ourselves to have that expression. So if there's any little nuggets coming through for you, to me, I'm surprised some of these questions are coming through because we're going quite deep very quickly, but I love that these questions are coming through. So I hope it's sparking something for you, but you can let me know. I'm going to tune back into the field and I just want to see what comes through. And of course, I'm going to continue to share with you as it does. And so just give me a moment. Yeah, so just taking a moment and whatever that part of you is, and just hands over heart, whatever that part of you is that is longing to be seen, that is longing to be expressed as a part of your unique medicine in the world. I just want you to like see that version of you, like really embodied in that, just sending yourself love, right? Sending yourself love, really valuing whatever's really present, whatever's being shown to you, really valuing that, sending love, really valuing that, giving yourself full permission to take up space, right? To share that as a gift. And to allow yourself to be that version of you. I'm going to continue on and we're going to look at what's next and just ways to integrate that and carry that forward after our time together today. So give me another moment. I'm going to tune in. So now as I'm tuning in, I have a butterfly, which is so perfect because a butterfly too is very much about transformation, but also about uniqueness of expression. So there's a butterfly moving through the field right now. And it's actually like a fairly large butterfly and a beautiful butterfly. And I can see the intricate details and designs in its wings. And I'm just going to see what the medicine of this butterfly is and why she's so present in the field. And you can take a moment and tune in as well and just notice what the presence of a butterfly, what that might symbolize for you, or what medicine might be revealed for you. So I'm going to do the same. So the way that the butterfly is moving through the field is wings really open and expanded. She's just larger than life. She's actually like really taking up space with her expression and with her power. And as I continue to watch this beautiful butterfly with her wings expanded outward, she actually begins to, the body of the butterfly begins to turn into a human. And she's, spread your wings and fly. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's beautiful. Spread your wings and fly. Yeah, I mean, the presence is so, so beautiful and big. And this sense of, and so as I'm talking about this butterfly, really allowing yourself to tap into, she's not afraid to take up space with her expression in the world, right? And this happens as the natural extension of our evolution. It's like we move through this process on the evolutionary woman's path of releasing the old, of rooting more deeply into ourselves and connecting to deeper truths, of shifting and coming into a new space internally. We prepare to take out the inner discovery, the inner expression out into the world in bigger and bigger ways. And then we're asked to actually expand, right, and anchor our frequency and our medicine and our expression in bigger and bigger ways. And there can often be this edge to it, right? Who am I to take up this much space? And that can be, it can be with just your expression, like your medicine and your essence. But when I think of a woman's medicine and her essence, I also think of her voice, like her authentic voice, right? Her gifts, the colors that really speak to her essence in terms of adornment, right? Just the frequency of her voice. So there's all different kinds of ways that we can be asked to, it's interesting, the voice is really coming through as I was sharing that, but there's all different kinds of ways that as we start to understand the uniqueness of our medicine and we move through a cycle of transformation, that inevitably we're asked to take up more space, and that can be an uncomfortable part of the evolutionary journey. So wherever you're at, and now I'm just going to go ahead and tune into the field. Yeah. So now I'm seeing this beautiful butterfly that is now turned like it's a woman with butterfly wings, which is beautiful and different. But I can see her toes on the edge of a cliff. And she's preparing to jump. Like she's preparing to spread her wings, and exactly what Brandy said, to spread her wings and fly. And as I'm looking at her and just attuning to the energy that's present, there's a couple things that come through. And so I want to share this with you. And with the Akashic field, we drop in today, the transmission comes through, the medicine of the transmission will actually start to like swirl, right? It'll clear things, it'll activate things, there'll be new awarenesses. So really thinking about this piece moving forward is that your expansion is a gift. So that's the nugget I feel as I'm saying that. Your expansion is a gift. It doesn't take away from anyone, right? Connecting and cultivating to the essence and the unique medicine of who you are and your presence in the world, right, is a gift. So your expansion, your evolution is a gift. And as I'm seeing her at the edge with her toes curled over and her wings open wide, that was the piece that really wanted to come through. And that can happen often as we go to move forward and take up more space with the uniqueness of who we are in the world, with more of our purpose, with more of our calling, with more of our voice, with more of our power, with more of our expression. Right? We can push up against where we feel it's appropriate to take up more space. This can actually come through too with the grounding of like a new creation, like the birthing of a book or the birthing of a program, right? Because we're birthing a physical creation. It's coming into the physical world as an extension of us. And so it wants to take up more space in the world, right? It's a part of our expression or medicine in the world. So just knowing that if you're pushing up an edge against where it felt more safe to play a little bit smaller, to tuck away and hide, that this is the invitation to take up more space, to know that it's a gift. And then I'm going to go in one last time and see how this all wants to ground. So as she jumped off the cliff, she's quite a magical being, this butterfly woman. But as she jumped off the cliff, hello, Caroline, welcome. I don't know why my voice did that, but welcome. So as she jumped off the cliff, she did a triple roll, like a triple roll, and then she turned back and looked at us one last time again, and she's full of light codes. And she's full of these beautiful light codes, and her wings are outstretched, and she is just floating in midair. So just allowing yourself to float, allowing yourself to receive all those beautiful light codes. And the light codes are coming from the geometry on her wings. It's just all of these really beautiful, crystalline, golden light codes. And they're just transferring off of these beautiful wings. And so just allowing yourself to receive that, to receive that, to receive that. Beautiful. And now she's gone. All right, so you are the medicine. Let me see if I can give you a homework step for this weekend. And again, I'll be back on Friday at 1 with Evolutionary Beauty. We're going to continue on with this series. We're making our way up to become the channel. Become the channel. So this week's action step is to look for your edge when it comes to taking up space with your unique medicine, with your essence, right? With the expression of who you are. Look for your edge around where it feels uncomfortable, but then to give yourself permission to come back to that mantra that came through that was so beautiful, right? And then I can't remember the exact words. I feel like Brandy, if you're still on, you will, but basically it was, your evolution is a gift. Your evolution is a gift. It's a gift to everyone you touch. It's a gift to the world. So full permission to show up as this version of yourself who is taking up space. So wherever that you bump up against an edge like that, make sure and full permission. Your evolution is a gift. And I feel like there was one more thing. Let's see if I can remember. And yes, and to just kind of really finalize this, it's like the only person that gets to define you is you, right? That gets to define you. We were talking about projections from different family, from different friends, right? Just different illusions, right? We went through that guided journaling, with the first question of like, who do you truly believe yourself to be, right? Our divine expression is so, so big. It's so much bigger than the personality self, right? And so when we understand who we are and when we have that clarity, the only one that gets to define who we are is us, right? So take that, integrate it, know it to be true, take up space with it. And that's what I have for you today. So I'm going to thank the guides, guardians, masters, angels, teachers who have been a part of this experience today. And then just knowing that the clarity, healing, intentions, activations are all going to unfold into completion. And the door between the worlds is now closed. And so it is. Thanks for joining. Let me know your insights, ahas, just anything that kind of sparked or tingled for you in your awareness. You can share it below. Bye for now.